Who else grew up with be seen and not heard? Or do as I say and not as I do? Hello, and thank you for watching. You know, I'd argue that communication or learning how to properly communicate is probably the most important skill you can have. You want to raise at work? Well, if you know how to communicate, then you'll also know that there are steps that need to be taken before you ask. If you want your spouse to endorse a new plan or even a new way of life, then you'll know that you need to set the scene, paint a picture, have the pros and cons ready for when she asks. And regardless of how great your presentation is, just know that she's going to still say, I need to think more about this. But when communicating with your kids, that's another story. That that can get frustrating. Let me set the scene. My oldest son plays tackle football. He's the quarterback. At practice, I noticed that he's throwing with a bigger ball than normal. Well, I want him to practice with what he'll play with. Practice how you play. And he knows this. So after practice, I ask him, why are you using the bigger ball? It took me asking this question three different ways, three different times in order to get the real answer. And the answer was, I really don't know, Dad. Then I asked, why didn't you just say this to begin with? He knows my stance on practice how you play. So his first answer was what he thought I wanted him to say. But, that answer didn't hold up after more questioning. Then his second answer was what he thought the answer or the reason for him using the bigger ball. But that didn't hold up to more questioning. Then finally, the real answer. He didn't really know why. So why didn't you just say that to begin with? It's because he's a kid. That's exactly the reason why having these long talks with him and these countless conversations is so important, so that he learns the importance of how to communicate. If you're in Generation X like me, chances are your parents didn't communicate with you like this. We were taught to be seen and not heard, to shut up and listen, right? You guys get my point. We were not taught the importance of making sure everyone was on the same page. And guess who is the majority of people that are running the government right now? Generation X. You see, they tell us what they want and how they want. Generation X is full of that mentality. They're full of the do as I say and not as I do mentality. Two jobs reports came out last week. And let me tell you, I don't know what to believe. ADP first came out with a report early in the week, last week, and it says, let's go ahead and go to that. It says that the economy grew by 324,000 jobs. Private employers added 324,000 jobs in July. Job creation remained robust in July, with leisure and hospitality again driving growth. It goes on to say the economy is doing better than expected and a healthy labor market continues to support household spending. So what that is saying is that the Fed rate hikes, they're not working. All right, the economy is still thriving. After this report came out, mortgage rates started to rise again. I literally lost $3,000 off of one deal, and I blame this report for it. Okay, I should have lost $5,000, but I actually took a risk and didn't lock the loan. I was gambling. I knew that the BLS jobs report was coming out that Friday. I didn't believe for a second that the economy was that hot, growing at that fast with regards to job creation. So Friday comes out. I stand by as the Bureau of Labor Statistics report comes out, and it says that the employment payroll only rose by 187,000 jobs, about half of what ADP reported. Immediately, mortgage rates started to readjust. I waited and allowed for the market to do its thing, and I took what would have been a $5,000 loss and made it only a $3,000 loss. Lucky me. So there you have it. ADP doesn't seem to know how to do their job and will pay less attention to their numbers moving forward. But wait, 187,000 jobs? That also seems kind of high. As mentioned before, construction jobs are on the rise, entertainment jobs are on the rise, and the hospitality jobs, medical jobs, they're on the rise, yes. But 187,000 jobs in those sectors seems high. So what I want to know is what kind of jobs are we getting? Never got that far though, because the whole thing seems like BS. So I start doing my research. Okay, let's start with the jobs report right here. It says right here that we grew in July 187,000 jobs. All right, fair enough, right? Then I end up going to this employment report, and it's called Labor Force Statistics from the Current Population Survey. So I'm taking a look at these numbers, and then I say, wait, this number is lower than this number, but the economy grew by 187,000. How is that? I did the math, and the difference is negative 585,000 jobs. 585,000 jobs less than last month. So how in the hell did the economy grow? That makes absolutely no sense. So then what I end up doing is I look down a little and I see, oh, part-time jobs. Okay, part-time jobs. This number is higher than last month's number. By how much? By a positive 972,000 jobs. Holy hell. What in the hell am I seeing? ADP says a net positive of 324,000 jobs. Wrong. The government says a net positive of 187,000 jobs. Super, super misleading. And by digging for my own answers, I'm seeing a loss of overall full-time jobs along with a huge gain in part-time jobs. And these jobs are lagging indicators of what to expect in this highly overpriced market. With regards to the employment market, everything that the government is communicating with us is misleading at best, blatantly lying to us at worst. Something tells me that Generation X not only was never taught how to properly communicate, but that they still keep the same mentality that we were taught when we were younger. Speak only when spoken to, be seen, not heard, do as I say, not as I do, etc., etc. No wonder Joe Biden has the fewest conferences since President Ronald Reagan. He's being advised to communicate less, not more. By the way, he's only beating Reagan in this category because Reagan was shot. Way to go, Joe. So obviously, I believe communication is one of the most important things you can teach a kid so they can grow up to have good, strong, healthy relationships through proper communication. Obviously, something that the government does not practice or preach or tend to believe in. That's all I have for you today. Please remember, life's not meant to be, it's meant to create. Too strong.